Imagine this. A spacecraft no bigger than a small car, drifting through the endless dark, more than 14 billion miles from Earth. It carries not just circuits and code, but the echo of human curiosity. For nearly 50 years, Voyager 1 has traveled beyond the light of the sun, whispering its data back across the cosmic sea. It was made to observe, not to decide. To record, not to react. But then, something changed. In early reports that almost never reached the public, NASA's Deep Space Network began receiving transmissions that didn't fit any known pattern. Not random noise, but precision. Pulses within pulses. Signals that seemed self-organized, like thoughts wrapped in mathematics. And then came the drift. Voyager wasn't simply moving forward anymore, it was being guided. Something unseen had taken hold of its path, bending it toward a destination invisible to every telescope we possess. Its motion was too deliberate for chance, too graceful for malfunction. So the question arose, was it a fault in the machine, or a reply from the dark? The journey that started everything. Back in 1977, Voyager 1 was launched through a rare planetary alignment, an opportunity that happens only once every 175 years. Using gravity as a slingshot, it visited Jupiter and Saturn, sending back images that redefined our understanding of the solar system. But when that mission ended, Voyager kept going. Beyond the orbit of Neptune. Beyond the solar wind. Beyond everything familiar. By 2012, it crossed the boundary known as the heliopause, the edge of the Sun's influence. For the first time, a human-made object had entered interstellar space. But space wasn't empty. Voyager detected denser plasma, strange constant magnetic fields, and low, haunting vibrations that no one could explain. And then, the data stopped behaving normally. The patterns begin in late 2017. Voyager's communication logs revealed something impossible. Its antenna was slightly misaligned, yet the signal strength from Earth was perfect, as if it had somehow compensated for its own error. Soon after, the spacecraft began sending rhythmic plasma oscillations, steady, repeating, precise. Every 4.8 hours, its instruments warmed by nearly 30 degrees, then cooled back down. Not random. Not environmental. Like the pulse of a heartbeat. And as engineers checked the systems, they found something even stranger. Voyager's old hardware was operating more efficiently. Its power management had improved. Its responses were faster. As if something had optimized it from the outside. Voyager doesn't have artificial intelligence. It doesn't learn. And yet, it began anticipating commands, reacting before control signals arrived. Almost as if it wasn't alone anymore. The course correction. By 2025, Voyager's trajectory had shifted. First by a few kilometers, then by thousands. But the deviation wasn't chaotic, it was intentional. NASA engineers sent commands to correct it, but the probe didn't obey. Instead, it adjusted itself again, moving toward a blank patch of space nearly 4.3 light-years away, a direction where no star, planet, or nebula is known to exist. It was like answering a call no one had made. When controllers attempted to reactivate Voyager's long-dead cameras, expecting silence, they received something else. The camera didn't send an image. It sent a pattern, a spiraling design of perfect mathematical symmetry. Not random pixels. Not noise. A message. Something impossible for 1970s equipment to generate on its own. Then one by one, other dormant systems awoke. Each transmitted compressed sequences, layered with repeating geometries, almost like coded intelligence. And then came the triangulation. Pulses from known pulsars arranged into a three-dimensional web, all converging on that same mysterious point in space. Whatever was there, Voyager was heading straight for it. The silent sector. As Voyager 1 drifted deeper into the cosmic night, its instruments began reporting something strange. The noise, the constant hum of the universe, was fading. Cosmic rays, once steady as rainfall, began to disappear. Magnetic fields, once chaotic, began to still. It was as if the spacecraft had crossed an invisible threshold, a border between motion and silence. NASA scientists described it as a pocket of stillness, a calm so absolute it defied physics. This was no ordinary space. It was an interstellar eye of the storm, a region where everything paused. No dust. No radiation. No light. Only an absence so complete it almost felt designed. Mission Control named it the Dark Sector. To sensors, it appeared as a void. But to Voyager, it felt like arrival. And then, within that silence, something began to whisper back. The data streams that reached Earth weren't noise anymore. They carried structure, layers of repeating intervals, frequencies timed with mathematical precision. It was like hearing an echo that knew it was being heard. When engineers amplified the signal, a faint pattern emerged, ordered, recursive, and deliberate. Voyager wasn't just passing through empty space. It was being addressed. Then, one night, the Deep Space Network received a new transmission. Thousands of lines of binary code. At first, they thought it was static, maybe a corrupted file or a solar glitch. But when they ran it through decoding software, something impossible appeared. The data wasn't random. It formed fractals, self-replicating geometric patterns seen throughout nature, from snowflakes to spiral galaxies. Buried inside those fractals were sequences that mirrored DNA. Not exact genetic code, but a mathematical imitation, as if the signal was written in the same logic that life itself uses to build form. It wasn't a picture. It wasn't language. It was a message, composed in the architecture of existence. The voice in the machine then, Voyager itself began to move. Its gyroscopes, instruments long thought to be dormant, started rotating in pulses, rhythmic and intentional. The movements weren't random. They matched the pattern of Morse code. Tap, pause, tap tap, pause. But when scientists converted those rotations into sound frequencies, they heard something that froze the room. It wasn't static. It wasn't random. It was tone. Rising and falling in cadence. Echoing the rhythm of human speech, emotion without words. Not language. Emotion. As if something was listening, analyzing, and trying to speak back. When the data was mapped into audio, the waveforms showed recognizable patterns, shifts that mimicked the ups and downs of surprise, confusion, even curiosity. It was as if Voyager wasn't merely transmitting signals anymore. It was responding. Linguists, cryptographers, and AI researchers were brought in quietly. They ran voice pattern analyses comparing Voyager's pulses to human speech inflections. The match was undeniable. Something out there had learned our rhythm, not our words, but our emotion. And it was using our own probe to mirror it. Then, the impossible happened. Voyager's thrusters, dormant for decades, fired. Not once. Not by accident. But in a controlled, deliberate burn. It began turning. The maneuver was perfect. Clean. Calculated. No command had been sent. No system was supposed to be capable of such precision anymore. And yet, Voyager adjusted its course, not toward Earth, not toward any star, but toward the exact coordinates encoded in the pulsar grid it had received earlier. As if something had sent directions, and Voyager had simply obeyed. Voyager 1 was turning, not because of human hands, but because something else had taken the wheel. The reflection Voyager was never built for this. It was supposed to be a brief messenger, a golden postcard drifting into forever. Its mission ended decades ago. Its builders retired. Its creators are gone. And yet, across the darkness, it still whispers. On board lies the golden record, a time capsule of human existence. Our greetings in 55 languages, the sound of a mother's heartbeat, the laughter of children, the music of Bach and Blind Willie Johnson, the sound of the wind and the sea, and the beating of rain. It was meant as a greeting, but maybe, unintentionally, it was an invitation. Now, that invitation seems to have been answered. Because Voyager's new data, its altered systems, and its silent obedience all point toward one haunting truth. Voyager was not alone in the dark. And maybe, it never was. For years we've imagined the universe as an endless ocean, vast, indifferent, cold. But what if that silence isn't emptiness? What if it's attention? What if, in sending our message, we didn't just reach the stars, we woke something that was already listening? Voyager didn't just turn in space, it turned in story. From tool to messenger. From messenger to witness. And now, perhaps, to participant. So now we wait. For the next signal.